Hi, I'm Stefan, the BMW DIY guy, and do you want to dramatically improve the sound of your BMW M4? I'll show you how. All right, y'all, so we're going to be working on this gorgeous 2024 BMW M4 convertible today. We're going to be installing the complete Valvetronic exhaust system. So this is mid-pipe, back box, the whole way down. So everything from the downpipes to the exhaust tips. So this is a really straightforward install. I'm going to walk you through the whole process and show you how you can do this yourself and what a difference it can make in your car. All right, so I always say this before any project where you're up underneath your car. Please do it safely. Now I'm going to be using my Quickjacks today. If you can do this with jacks and jack stands, make sure that you do it safely. You're on a level surface. Never use a jack without jack stands if you're underneath it. I've seen jacks fail. Don't bet your life on a 50-cent part, all right? Make sure to check out the Quickjacks. I really love them. I use them all the time. So I'm gonna get the car in the air. We're gonna slide underneath and I'll show you how to do this job. All right, y'all, so here we are underneath the car looking from the tail forward, looking at the entire exhaust line. And because this is an entire exhaust system, we're going to take the entire exhaust line down completely from the downpipes, including the crossover pipe. So as we work our way up the line here, and this particular car already has an aftermarket mid-pipe in it, but the process is going to be essentially the same. So you have a crossbody brace here with 1, 2, 3, 13 millimeters on each side. So you're going to want to take that out. And then as you move up the frame, you'll see that you've got a 13 millimeter bolt here. It's attached here. You've got 13 millimeter nuts here and here, which I've already taken off, as you can tell, here and here for your crossover pipe. Now I've left one in place to keep it all intact at this place because I don't want it coming down partially, and then also here and here. Now, because the entire system is coming down, you can bring the entire thing down intact. So what I would suggest is undo the 13 millimeter nuts up here at the top flanges with your crossover pipe and the rest. And then you can also undo the 13 millimeter here and the 13 millimeter nut there. And then as we work our way down, your crossbody brace is already off. And then you've got mid-body hangers back here, which I'll show you in just a second. Those mid-body hangers will hold it up in place. There's also hangers on your exhaust, but we'll get to those in a minute. So start at the top, take those off, take your crossbody brace off, and then we're going to leave it basically attached at one end and hung on by the hangers on your exhaust on the other. Now, you can do this by yourself potentially. It would be nice to have an extra set of hands, so by the time you take the hangers down, you can walk the exhaust out. But I'll get to that in a second. All right, so as we look back here at the exhaust, you have these mid-body hangers that are here. I've already got them undone. Those are 13 millimeter nuts. And then you also have 13 millimeter nuts at the hangers back here in the back, which is what's holding the back box on right now. Now, in addition, don't forget to unplug your exhaust valve motors. So you pull back on the little tab, you press down, and then the plug will come out. And there's one on each side for the M4, because what you don't want to do is yank on these cables and cause a problem, right? So go ahead and get those unplugged. Now, with all the rest undone, you can, with all of your bolts and everything loose up the other end, you can brace up your exhaust back box here with a pair of jacks or something similar. You can get an extra set of hands to hold the exhaust tips, and then you can take the hangers off the 13 millimeter nuts on both sides, those hangers on both sides, to get those off, and then you can drop the back box down and walk the entire exhaust line out in one solid piece. Okay, so be really careful as you do it. Have an extra set of hands to take out that end, and then walk it just down and out of the car. All right, so just quick review here. You can see the entire exhaust line is out. What we're going to do is you're going to take either the pieces or the entire exhaust line, and we're going to be pulling the hangers off to transfer them to the new pieces. So let's go ahead and lay out the new Valvetronic exhaust, and we're going to transfer the hangers to the new exhaust components. All right, so you're going to want to lay all the pieces out, and this is where Valvetronic has done a fantastic job in labeling everything. So I've taken all the pieces out of the box and laid them out really nicely. As you can see, they have labels, A to A. So you come down, C to C, B to B, E, and D to D. So it's really easy to be able to tell what your orientation of all your pipes are going to be. Helps you lay them all out, also with the hangers, because we haven't transferred the hangers yet. Now, a couple of things while we're here. Here in the United States, we do not have OPF, or the particle filters. So these bungs, there's one there, there's one here, and then there's the longer ones here. Go ahead and tighten them down. You don't have to crank down on them too hard. That's a 6mm Allen and a 17mm nut here on these two. Just tighten them down snug and you'll be fine. Now, I also laid out the existing, so you can see it, and you can also see the orientation of the hangers. Now, we've got this top hanger right here that we're not going to duplicate, so we can ignore and leave that there. But we have our two bottom hangers right here. Now, the hangers themselves, there's a tool you can use to pry them off, but I find that if you just take them and just work them, they'll come off the post with just a little bit of effort. And then you just transfer them in the same orientation to the new hangers on both sides. So you want to take both middles here and here, transfer them over to the new pipes, and take both off the end here and here, and transfer them to the new back box. And then lastly, when you look at this, look at the size difference. What a massive size difference between these two, and potential weight savings if that's something you're worried about. All right, so go ahead and get all of your hangers transferred, those 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, get them transferred over to the new pipes, and then we'll start to get this hung up into place. All right, so you can see the hangers are transferred. So you're gonna wanna do this essentially in reverse order because it's gonna go up in sections. You wanna take the back box and hang that first. So get underneath the car, flip those hangers upright and put in those 13mm nuts on both sides. And then the back box will pretty much hang by itself. Your two middle pipes also have hangers here and here. So you can take those up, sleeve them into the end of the back box, and then put the hangers on, and these sections will hang by themselves. So you can take those and get those squared up, and then once those are in, we'll hang the rest, because the mid pipe does not have a middle hanger. It doesn't have that bracket or a middle hanger. So it's gonna be the end pieces, and then we'll slot the rest up. Okay, so go ahead and start in the back box. We're gonna slide underneath, we're gonna get the back box hung, and then we'll hang both those pipes. All right, so you can see the back box is in place. Now, what you can potentially do as well as a different way of doing it is if you want, you can always slot these next pipes in before you put the back box on. It just makes it a little bit heavier to put up into place, but then it also does give you all 4 hanger points, 1, 2, and then the 2 on the back box to help stabilize you as you put it up. Now, these mid bands right now are just snug because we're going to deal with a lot of fitment here in a little bit. I mean, these pipes can come up and hit your suspension and some other stuff. So don't worry about fitment or your tip alignment or anything like that right now, because we're going to be dealing with that once it's all back in together. Now, this upper section, keep in mind the entire run from here up to your downpipes is one solid piece. You're going to have clamps on this end. You've got the one clamp in the middle, and then it connects at the far end. So what I'm going to actually suggest, and I'll show you on the pipes, I'm going to suggest putting those two ends together and snugging that middle clamp so this whole center section is one piece, so you can hang it off the down pipes and then connect it here. So let's look at those pipes before we put it on. All right, also, as you can tell, all the pipes are hung, so let's talk about this a little bit because fitment is really where you get a little bit more of art than science in all of this. So let's go ahead and scroll back, go all the way back up here to the top. So we have our 12mm bolts here at the top, completely secure. Now in this case, remember we had to take this hanger off. So there's that one hanger, that mid-body hanger here on the OEM, and there's 2 E10 or reverse Torx bolts right here. Now, if you have a multi-point 8mm ratcheting wrench, you can fit it right over an E10 and they'll come right off. So you take both of those out, it's got that box, and that box comes out, you no longer need it, and you want to take it off to make sure that you've got enough clearance. You could potentially leave it on, but I would recommend taking it off. So you just take that off and set it aside. So as we come down, make sure that the bungs are tight here, make sure that these are tight, and we don't have the particulate filters. These are for European cars, so we don't have to worry about that as much. You've got all of the bolts for all of your brackets are 15mm, and also we have the crossbody brace here with the 12s. Now, when you're dealing with fitment, what you want to do is you want to slide a shim in of some kind right here. So I'll put a shim, usually like I can put a wrench or something similar that's, about 1/2 inch or so of space to make sure that this is set up and away from your crossbody brace as you tighten everything down. Your pinch points are going to be at the crossbody brace, right here at the differential on both sides, and right here at these cross braces right here in the back. So basically what you do is you shim it up by the crossbody brace, and you hang the rest. You hang the back box, you hang the AB pipes, and then you just get them all set up really nicely. You make sure you've got good clearance here. If you have to twist the pipes to get a little bit better clearance, then you tighten at both ends. You tighten at the clamp here and make sure that that's all got good clearance all the way around. You've got clearances around the differentials on both sides. And the whole time you've got clearance here at your crossbody brace. So once that's all tight and it's really well secure, then you take your shim out and make sure that you've still got space. Now, I'm a big fan of just hitting the pipe. Your exhaust pipe is going to move a little bit. That's why it's on rubber hangers. And then if you can hit on it with a pretty decent amount of force that puts that vibration up and down through the exhaust line and you don't hear anything metal, it's not hitting your heat shield, it's not hitting your braces, then you're all good to go. Now, and I also make sure that all of my clamps on the exhaust lines, once I'm set and once my fitment is good, I crank on them pretty hard, about as hard as those nuts will allow you to do so, to make sure that it stays nice and tight. But at this point, we're completely good. So we've got good fitment all the way up. Our bungs and our connections there are tight. All of our brackets are tight. Everything is good all the way down. And really, the only thing we have to do left is exhaust tips. So we'll talk about that, and we'll get the exhaust tips on. And then we'll also talk about the valve controller or the choices that you have there. So let's get the exhaust tips on next. And then with your exhaust tips, this really is a matter of taste. So the normal angle is the outermost tip is back a little bit. The inner one is up a little bit for a raked angle. You've got your Valvetronic logo at the top. I'll show you what that looks like here when we get a down view on the car. But then this is really a matter of personal taste. Do you want them flush with your diffuser? Do you want them staggered or raked a little bit? This is going to be what you want it to be. In this case, the inner is out just a little bit further than the outer to give this match the angle of the rear diffuser, but that's all good to go. Now, let's talk about the valve controller here really quickly. Now, the Valvetronic exhaust comes with their own motors and their own valve controller. The client in this case actually wants to maintain OEM functionality and doesn't want a valve controller. So what you want to do is you want to switch your OEM motors with the Valvetronic motors because the pin is different. The pin out on the plug is different. All you do is you take these 10mm screws out, 1, 2, 3, you pull it out, and then you make sure that this clip, because this clip indicates the valve position on the inside. So you just make sure that the clip position matches the motor position when you put the new motors on and plug them in. So you should be good to go. The Valvetronic valve controller is great. It's just a different motor and a different pin out, and how you'd set it up is a little bit different. This M4 client doesn't want that. They want to maintain OEM functionality. So we're going to keep that how it's set up for the OEM. So all in all, you're done. Go ahead and make sure that to look your car up and down, make sure everything is tight, make sure everything's put away. But now we can put it on the ground and test. All right, y'all, so go ahead and clean and push your tools away. And you can tell this really isn't a hard project if you just take it a step at a time. Now remember, everything you need will be listed in the video description below, including product links, tools, torque values, all those things that you need to get this job done yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to click like and subscribe. It makes a genuine difference to my channel, and I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next project.